What's up, everybody? It's another week of Future State. People keep tuning in for this stuff, so I'm going to keep reviewing it. This week, a lot of books. The second part to The Flash, Harley Quinn's second book, Superman of Metropolis's second book. Both Swamp Things. This is a first print of Swamp Thing because I missed that. So we're going to do them both in one. And then the next Batman, issue 3, and Future State Wonder Woman issue 2. So a lot of books. One thing about this is most of these books are only 2 issues. And I guess I really didn't think of what a problem that would be for storytelling wise until I actually have completed like the books. So I'll start off with the Swamp Thing stuff. And I got to be honest, for most of the Future State stuff I'm actually liking. There's a couple books I don't like. Some of them are in this pile, and I'm going to go over that when we get to them. Swamp Thing, though, is pretty good. This is probably one of the better ones so far. I see why it's sold out. Basically, this takes place close to the end of time. Art's really good in it. You can see here. I'll show you like this scene right here. This is really good. Basically, there was a great war, and it wiped out all the people, and Swamp Thing has created like a family for himself, and he's looking for more humans. He ends up finding them, and that takes him to issue 2, which is the end of the story, where he fights the Immortal Man and ends up sacrificing himself to save humanity and creates like a tree dome for them. It's actually, I'm being as simple as possible, but it's actually pretty good. And I like that these are like 2 stories. Sometimes they work. So an example of them not working as well is Wonder Woman, Future State Wonder Woman issue 2. I really like the design of this character. She looks good, and she's interesting enough. The problem with her, though, is that this felt rushed. The first issue was a perfect first issue, and then you've got to end it with this one. And the art's fantastic. Jolie Jones, she draws beautiful women. You know, I could almost see this being problematic on Twitter. But the problem here, like I said, is that this feels somewhat rushed. Now, I was really looking forward to her fighting, to get to the other side. It was set up for her to fight. I forget the name of these dogs, but she was set up to fight them, and she beats them in like 2 pages because she takes the Grim Reaper's hand. This is a great art. This is like one of the best. I really like Jolie Jones's art. But basically, like there's some cool stuff here where she's going into hell, and like here she grabs her sister out of all of these lost souls, and she's trying to take her back up, and she can't. Like some rocks fall down, and it seems like this is kind of a lame way for her to get stuck after all of the work she went through to pull her out of here. And then it ends, and I feel like a lot of these books got 3 issues, and I feel like this one needed a 3rd issue. This is one of the better books out of Future State, and it's a shame that this is how it ends. Because the first issue started off really good, and this one was a little weaker, I gotta be honest. But I do like the art. I like this character, so I don't know what they're gonna do with her, if she's gonna show back up or what, but yeah. The next Batman, I gotta admit, has really grown on me. I think they're gonna keep this book going, and it's gonna be its own thing. Like, Bruce Wayne Batman is still going to be there. Like, here's the thing that makes this book work then, unlike Miles Morales' Spider-Man, is that this book will be in its own contained universe, kind of, and he will be the Batman, not like sidekick Batman like they've turned Miles Morales into. But like I originally wasn't like into this idea of this next Batman, but the writing and the way that they've fleshed him out over these 3 issues, I've actually liked a lot of the stuff that's going on with him. In a lot of ways, he's also kind of a bare bones Batman, especially with that last issue with him using burner phones and stuff. I was really into some of that stuff, and I like the way he goes about with these 2 people who they instantly set up as unlikable by the end of the issue. And you got to, because, well, if you saw the second review or you read them, the people he's working with, like, so the reason they killed the bad guy in this book is because he was a child predator, and they were getting justice because that was their kid. And now the magistrates, peacekeepers, are after them both. Like, they're after Batman and this couple. So, I won't spoil it, but I have to admit, like, I'm pretty happy with Next Batman. I do like it. I'm shocked that it's turned out as good as it has. So the price point, I hate the price point. $8 is a lot of money. And you could reduce that significantly if you took out these side stories in the back. So you got the Outsiders and the Arkham Knights. I don't care about them. I just want to read about the next Batman. Like, this book could be $4 or $5 if you just took out the side stories that I don't give a shit about. And I'm probably not the only one that feels that way. Next up is Superman of Metropolis. This is the final issue of this. So this is like, Clark Kent's gone, Kal-El's gone, and this is John Kent, and he's the Superman. One thing that I didn't like is they've got Supergirl, like, as the star of the show, like, calling herself the most powerful person in the universe, and this is supposed to be John Kent's book. It's like, what's the point of that? It really wasn't that great of a story. The first issue wasn't that great. I wasn't liking it. This was pretty weak. I'm hoping that Superman War of Worlds picks up. Most of the Superman books in Future State have been shit. All of the Bat books have been great. And the Swamp Thing books. And at least this Wonder Woman book was, Immortal Wonder Woman sucked. Harley Quinn, she ends up escaping from the magistrate. This series is over as well. I liked this kind of art style that they used, actually. The art and the colors I really like in this book. The problem is it's not interesting. They turned it into a Suicide Squad book with Harley Quinn, is what they did. And it's pretty much her versus Black Mask, one of the weaker ones. And then this Flash book, which I almost kind of liked. The problem is with this book is all of a sudden Barry Allen's like got gray hair from the previous book. All the other Flashes are dead. There's a big time lapse. And there's this big thing with Wally West being controlled by famine. And he wins at the end of the book. It's really dark. And it's like, why do you guys hate Wally West so much? This is my real question for DC Comics. I just don't get it. They seem to really hate this character. It was cool to see Flash take all of his enemies' all of his villains, right? He took all of their weapons and modified them. The idea behind this, like powerless Flash, Barry Allen taking on Wally West with all of his Rogue Gallery's weapons, is a cool idea. It just was poorly executed. There was a lot of really good ideas here that they just didn't really execute very well, I got to be honest. It's just way too dark. Barry Allen loses, and it could have been so much better. But yeah, it's like, if you want my recommendations, the best stuff is the Batman stuff. Swamp Thing is really, really good. I would say pass on the Flash, pass on Harley Quinn, pass on Superman. I didn't like it. Pick up Batman. Wonder Woman is still okay. I was just kind of disappointed. And Swamp Thing is great. So there's my recommendations. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will see you guys next week with more Future State.